Welcome back. Now, about 1,500 African migrants have died this year alone trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea to Europe on makeshift boats. But those deaths have still not deterred many who consider the truth now their only option to get to Europe illegally. More and more migrants still continue to make the move through the deadly Mediterranean Sea, knowing full well that their chances of dying at sea is extremely high. So just what is really driving people to embark on such a very dangerous voyage? We're going to hear the story of some returnee migrants, of course. And let me just tell you that in early 2013, one of them, actually Victor, set out from Lagos to go to Europe, not by air, but by land and sea. His destination was Spain. About 3 years or 2 years after embarking on that trip, he returned home. His journey to Spain terminated on the coast of Libya. Victor and, of course, Festus Udi, who also tried to go to Europe but did not succeed, now join me on the program. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Let me start with you, Victor, because your case is very recent. You, Festus, you tried to go in 2009. Let's start from you. You tried in 2013. Tell me how your story actually started.
I actually met a friend which came to me that there was some kind of opportunity to Libya, but Libya was not the destination. Spain was actually the destination. That when we get to Niger, we get a bus, we get this lorry that will convey us to Libya direct. You know, it was just easy when he said it to me. When he said it was just that easy, so I actually thought it was just like that. But believe me, when we get to Niger,
You took off from Lagos.
From Lagos to Kano. From Kano we moved to Niger. He actually followed me from Lagos to Kano.
That's the agent.
Yeah, the agent. Yeah, to Niger, and all of a sudden he disappeared. I didn't see him. So it was just me, myself, and Libya.
And there were so many of you.
So many of us, both male and female. We have over 30 females there.
You found yourself in Niger. You've never been to, before then you had never been to Niger.
At all.
And what happened?
When I got to Niger, we went to a place, and he told me that he was coming, that I want to get what's it called? A permit. He used the word a permit, and all of a sudden I didn't see him. Off.
And you did not, when you guys didn't see him, you did not decide at that point to come back. You decided to go ahead.
Yeah. I had no choice. Because I already see my mind of, okay, this is Libya, and I had to see my mind. I said, okay, let me take the risk. Of course, I knew then I was on my own. So
what exactly happened? So how did you eventually get to Libya? Did you get to Libya maybe say after 2-3 days or?
No. It took me almost a month, 8 months, before I got to Libya.
8 months?
Yeah.
During that period, where were you?
Desert.
Were you guys trekking?
Yeah, we were trekking. We trekked, and it was terrible. It was terrifying, because at a point we came across some rebels. They collected everything we had, the money, the food, everything we had. I saw people dying. Skeletons, skulls. They were raping in front of my eyes. They were raping females. It was terrible.
Just how did you guys, how did you cope in, the heat of the desert? How were you able to survive to eventually make it to Libya?
Well, should I say God didn't wanted me to be among the those that died. So just the grace of God.
I'm going to come back to you. Let me come to you, Festus. What exactly is your own story?
Well, it's almost the same thing, but I took off from Benin, and you know,
Where were you going? Where were you going to?
I was going to Libya, and for
Okay,
me,
you didn't plan to go to Europe.
yeah, for me, yeah, I actually planned to go to Europe, but in another sense, I took it like an adventure too. At the same time, I wanted to know, because it was like, people were like, you can make it, you can do it, man, the desert is so rough. I mean, the temperature there is so high, you can do it. The nature, the experience, how you gonna cope? So I was like, I'm that kind of person. I want to see for myself. I want to try. I want to go for. I want to see. So I eventually, joined the trip, and like you said, from Kano, we got to Niger, and from Niger we had to stay for some days where they had to gather passengers to a certain amount before we now, took off. And in my own case, I spent 12 days, but at the time there was no water. We ran out of water, and it was not funny. It was by His grace, those drivers that took us, that carried us, they were not the ones that brought their own water, in a very small amount. So we now managed.
So you met a lot of people whose destination probably was Europe.
Yes. Like the vehicle I entered, we were like, and I think 42 in number. We went in a convoy anyway. We went in a convoy where, even their security men, some of them had to escort us through the desert because of rebels. I know they got us a certain point and turned back, and we had to go on our own, But I think they were settled anyway. So, and along the line, some died. Like in my own vehicle.
Some people actually died.
Yeah.
In your vehicle.
Yeah. A lady died. And one other guy died too, that we had to bury them in the desert, because they were...
You mean they died and you stopped to bury them in the desert?
Yeah, everybody have to come together or something. Somebody, how are you going to do it? Look at the distance where you're coming from, look at where you're going to. We've not even gotten to our destination. So it was just like everybody trying to gather strength, but instead of the heat, there was so much cold. I think it was due to the season at which we embarked on a journey. So where you wear up to about 4 to 5 jackets, and you're not even feeling the heat. Instead, you're still feeling cold. So at the end of the day, we were able to get to Libya.
And was it all rosy for you when you got to Libya?
It was not. It was not, because the whole thing was like runs. We had to settle some people. Even the Libya guys were also collaborators in the exercise of trying to get most of the passengers to their camps, where we have to pay for accommodation, and at the end of the day settle down to take off to the next state where we have to take off. So, like in my own case, we're in Muzuk, if you know Muzuk in Libya. Spent about 2 weeks there before we rounded up, and they took us to one of the prisons that they called Saba. Before God, the man, the young couple that too went back on the journey at that same point, but we went on a different. Today is there anyway. It was lucky.
Let me come back to you, Victor. How eventually you got to Libya?
Yeah.
So what next?
When I got to Libya from Benghazi, then we took off to Tripoli. When we got to Tripoli, I was exhausted at that point. No cash on me. So
it took you 8 months to be able to accomplish the first leg of your journey. You were going to Europe, 2 legs, moved from Nigeria to Libya. From Libya, then you cross over to Europe. So the first leg took 8 months.
So I got exhausted, so it was hell. Because over there, we have the Libyan police everywhere. And sorry to say, the Nigerians, they really messed up the Libyans. So if you're caught as a Nigerian, I think what you should be praying for is maybe they deport you, or else they could do anything to you. But when we got to Tripoli, the guy that was supposed to take me to the seaport, he told me that it was $1,500 to cross, and at that point, I was not even having up to $300. And we were like vampires because we can't come out during the day. It was at night.
Oh, you can't come out during the day?
You can't.
Why?
If I'm caught, of course they would kill me. So I can't come out during the day. It was night. And if there was...
So you guys were camped in a building or something?
Yeah, we were camped in a building. So, but you dare don't, we're like vampires. You dare don't come out during the day because if you are caught, oh Lord, have mercy on you. Oh Lord, have mercy on you. And of course, at night, there's nothing, you can't get anything to do. Like maybe if there's a way we can get a job to maybe do something that would help us to raise that money and move, but there was nothing. And at that point, it was hot because Nigerians, they've committed, I'm sorry to say this, they've messed up Libya. So once they knew you're a Nigerian, I'm sorry, you might not live to see the next day.
So you didn't have up to $1,500?
At all.
And so you couldn't cross?
At all.
But were you, if you had that money, were you going to cross knowing that, you know, looking at the water, how dangerous it is?
At that point, I wasn't even seeing the water. If I had gotten that money, I would have crossed. I wasn't even seeing the water. I wasn't even seeing
You were
the
just
dangers.
seeing Spain.
I was just, my focus was Spain. This is Spain, here I come. I wasn't seeing the water. I wasn't seen as a threat. I wasn't seen as a danger to me. It wasn't a danger to me.
Let me ask you, what were you going to do in Spain? Did you know anybody in Spain?
No.
So how did you think that you were going to survive if you eventually got to Spain?
Actually, back then in Benin, we used to, some of our friends then, their brothers, their siblings, they have traveled to Spain. When they come back, they tend to tell us the sweeter side of, you know, the journey, you know, and we see them bling doing well, you know, spending money and all of that. So you know, so we actually thought when we get there, we just, you know, though they said there's job, when you get to Spain, there's job. So to be honest, I had nobody there. I don't have anybody there, but I just believe if I get there, I would survive as I'm a Niger. I would definitely survive.
Festus, what do you think could be driving? I mean, look at the number of Africans that have died this year trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea from Libya. A lot have died. A lot of people still continue to die, but then you still have a lot who still want to take that route to Europe.
Well,
and it's not even rosy in Europe anyway.
Well, you know, sometimes.
At least you spoke with some of those guys, and
sometimes that spirit, that urge, and that spirit of experience, you want to feel, you want to see what others are going there for. Like he said, you know, a lot of people go there and they do well. And if you look at it very well, you cannot compare in terms of environment and other things, you know, back home here in Nigeria and Europe. And there's no way the white man will treat you, you know, like a friend. Like,
that's what you were told.
Yes.
Are you not being treated like a friend here in Nigeria?
Secondly, the nature here, you know, everybody hustling, fighting to survive. That's, I mean, it's
but they
calm,
also struggle to survive in Europe.
Calm there. Look at, I did a song on this issue. I did a song. Maybe I'll bring it and you play it. You know too well what the economy is. People are struggling to survive. It's not really easy, and you go to somewhere else, even they'll call you and tell you, look, no matter what, this place is still far better.
Yeah,
to me, I actually saw it like it's a treasure land. You know, I was seeing a treasure land, like where you go, you know, you go there, you make the money and you come back. Because to me, before the journey, I had this picture of, you know, Europe, treasure land, country or a place filled with milk and honey. Compared to Nigeria, you'd hustle, and yet you don't see what you're hustling for. It's a tug of war here, but over there we felt you get there, afterwards you get a job.
That's what you felt.
Yeah, I felt
and unfortunately for you, the people who probably your agents did not explain to you the risk involved
at all.
And it's like it's the same thing with most people who embark on that trip now. They never get to see the whole picture. Only one side of the picture is painted, a picture of, you know, it's so easy. You know, you just drive in a convoy, as I said, you drive like an adventure, get to Libya, and then just take a nice boat across, and within few hours, you're in Europe.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you had the opportunity to do it again, would you do it?
That journey.
Not even my dream. Not in my dream. I can't. Doesn't worth it at all. At all.
Even the combatant soldier would not want to dare it a second time.
Really?
Yeah.
The rebels. Which will I? Is it the rebels?
Yeah, they attacked us on the way too.
Is it the rebels? They could, and the worst part of it is they don't, you know, they're Arabs.
You don't even understand the language.
They don't speak English. You don't understand English. So there's a way you communicate to them. You're trying to maybe insult them, or you're challenging them, and they could just crack the gun and
fire.
And that is it.
I begin to wonder if they are not the one that have.
They are heartless. They are. In fact, they are not humans.
Did you tell your parents you were going to embark on this trip? Did you tell your parents?
Nope.
They didn't know.
Actually, it was just a friend of mine that knew about this journey. You know, when my friend came to me and told me about this journey, so I was like, okay, it's a good one. Let me do a surprise package to my folks. Okay, if I get to Spain, I'll just call.
Oh, that was your plan?
Yeah, that guess where I am. I'm in Spain. That was my plan. I wanted to surprise them.
And you ended up surprising yourself. Oh, God. Man.
It was not easy.
But when you hear stories of people dying at the trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea, what exactly comes to your mind?
Reflection.
Yeah, big reflection.
Reflection.
Like something I ventured some time ago, and look at people, trying to, cross the Mediterranean Sea again. But the truth is, you see people just out of, poverty, out of frustration, out of.
But this is it's like you're choosing to just go and commit suicide.
Yeah, so that's
because this is more like a suicide mission.
But that was why I said it's 50-50. It's either you survive or you go down. And if they want to give us the true number of people that have gone down there, it should be over.
It'll be more than that number.
It's countless. You can't even count.
Millions of people that have gone down in that.
Before my time. So it's countless.
No, it's countless. Honestly.
So in fact, there's no 50-50. Yeah, there's no 50-50.
And we've heard of
at all. In fact, that you won't survive the journey.
It's even more.
It's even more. It's higher. That you get to Libya. That you get to Libya, it's higher. I mean, sorry, that you get is lower. That you get to Libya is lower. That you die on the way is higher.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not an easy journey.
It's terrible.
But for me, I didn't actually go with the mindset of okay, adventure. Mine was, man, you know, from as a boy growing, when I started knowing the currency thing, okay, dollars, pounds, euro. I was like, okay, let me go there and, you know, make some real money and come back. So I didn't actually go with the intention of okay, let me go.
What was the reaction of your parents when you came back eventually? And by the way, you spent about close to 2 years now before you returned.
Yep.
How did you get back? Were you deported?
Yeah. I had to do something nasty. I had to do something nasty for me to be caught. In fact, I had an injury, an everlasting injury. So I had no choice because I was cashless, no money on me. So.
And you couldn't get a job.
There's no where that you're running for your life. Is hide and seek. It was a hide and seek they were doing. Oh, you can't come out. Okay, look at me. I could walk freely on the street, but over there you can't.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program, and thank you very much for sharing your stories with us.
Thank you.
Wonderful stories.
Thank you.
Wonderful stories. Let's just hope some other people who are watching this program and planning to go to Europe by through Libya or by sea or whatever means would change their mind, because it's just not.
Doesn't worth it.
It's not an option at all. It's not an option one should consider at all.
But let me add that the government should also try to look at the reasons why people are embarking on this journey. We're talking about unemployment. We're talking about, you know, you look at the way the country is going, you'll be hopeless. Like, I want to continue in this situation. We're talking about corruption here and there. We're talking about frustration. What brings about frustration? When people don't have job and nothing's coming and nothing's happening, even the system, the news, everything you're hearing every day, so they're not encouraging you. You know, I mean, the economy itself is not like, you know.
Funny enough, it's not easy to in Europe now. The economy
of course, that's true.
The economy is quite terrible.
Yeah, sure. But believe me, nobody would see it from that perspective.
Yeah.
You only just see the beautiful picture you see.
Because that's what we've seen all the while. We're seeing the beautiful side of the Europe, and you know, so we just think it's just
go
like
there and pick money on the
streets.
You have to work for it.
All right, thank you very much for coming on the program. Well, let's just hope this migration crisis is addressed and that people just go to Europe the legal way, because going through the desert and by the Mediterranean Sea is obviously not the best option. As a matter of fact, it's a deadly option. That's it on the program. If you want to watch it again, it's simple. All you just need to do is go to our website, tv360nigeria.com. You'll find the program and lots more there. You can also watch us on YouTube by subscribing to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TV360Nigeria, or just follow us on Google Plus at TV360Nigeria, or like us on Facebook. The address is facebook.com/TV360 online. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our handle is at TV360 online. Thank you very much for watching. We're back again next week. See you then.